Hey, my name is Sawyer Fast, and I help aspiring fitness coaches build profitable online businesses using content and simple systems. Now, when I first started, I had no idea how to turn my passion for fitness into real income, but within a few months, I was able to quit my 9 to 5, go full-time online, and build a 6-figure online fitness coaching business. So if you've been wanting to start your own fitness coaching business with a real strategy, but confusion and strategy is holding you back, then this video is going to change that. And by the end of this, you'll know exactly how to start and what to focus on, what not to focus on, and how to build a business that gives you both freedom and purpose. All right, so let's jump into my computer screen so I can walk you through exactly what this looks like step by step. So how to start an online fitness coaching 2025 and everything you need to know. I want to zoom out the roadmap that I'm going to take you on real quick so you know the journey we're about to embark on. So this is the exact roadmap to take you from zero to making your first dollar online. And I'm going to break it down into 3 pillars. As you can see, I have everything laid out here. So let's jump into section number 1, pillar number 1, which is mindset. So before we get into the how-to, you have to understand this. The only thing standing between you and your first client isn't followers, it isn't strategy, or even marketing. It's clarity and belief. So once you decide truthfully that you're going to do this, everything else will align. You'll have the strategy. And I personally build my foundation on God and making that the foundation of everything I do, because that's what matters, not just the money. So let's dive into pillar number 1. Now, when it comes to social media, we have 2 worlds, and this is a divide in what you're deciding to build your business on, what foundation you're choosing to build your business on. World number 1 is you're going to seek worldly validation. This is the influencer route. Maybe you already have a couple of thousand followers, maybe you don't have any followers at all, but you think of social media as approaching it through worldly validation. Sometimes this is the sexy route, right? You obsess over likes and comments, the photos, the way you're gonna present yourself online. And that is a skewed way that many people approach social media. Now, I like to combat this and encourage you to shift your perspective, because this is how you build a very successful online business. It's entering world 2. Walking in your God-given purpose. Instead of obsessing over likes and follows and how many followers you have and how good your body looks and all of these things, why don't we walk in purpose and we walk in serving other people first, courage, and what really matters. And so I encourage you just to shift your perspective. I have other videos on this that are a lot longer if you are struggling with validation and things like that. But at the end of the day, there's 2 routes to social media, either looking for worldly validation and an applause for likes, comments, and follows, or you're doing it to serve God, serve His kingdom, and bring purpose into your life and other people's lives. What does this lead to oftentimes? This will lead to money when you build it on the right foundation, because if you are only striving for likes, you will eventually burn out and it will lead to something very unfulfilling, and it will just not be sustainable. So you need to have your mindset on point. That is pillar number 1. So let's go over the next pillar, your offer. Once your mindset is in the right place, let's talk about your offer, because this is the difference between making $50 for a workout plan or making $5,000 for a life-changing transformation and changing your life. So your offer isn't just what you sell, it's the result you help somebody create. And when you finally understand that, everything shifts. Your confidence, your pricing, your business, the money you make. So let's break down exactly how to find your offer and price it in a way that lets you quit your job faster. This is step number 1. Well, first we need to understand, what is an offer? Well, all an offer is helping somebody go from point A to point B. So there are people out there struggling, unfit, unhealthy. Maybe they are overweight, depressed. They're at point A, they're unhappy. And all they want is to get to point B, and that's going to be fit and healthy and confident. And real quick, I just want you to think about your past self. If you're watching this video, you're likely in good shape. You likely value health and fitness. And there was probably a point in time where you weren't that person, where you were at point A. You were struggling with health and fitness at one point in your life. You weren't prioritizing yourself. And you've made this amazing transformation in your life, and you have become a completely different person. You are now confident when you walk into rooms. You now have purpose in your life. You now have an outlet to actually work out, and a healthy outlet for your mental health. And you've completely transformed inside and out, and that's something to be very proud of. And what I want you to understand is other people out there obviously need that transformation too, and this is where your offer comes in. It's simply helping an older version of yourself, the younger version of yourself, go from point A to point B. You are the bridge, you are the gap. So there are other girls, there are other boys out there who are struggling at point A, and your offer is the bridge that takes them step by step to transform their life and make the same positive transformation that you've made. Now, you might be wondering, how do you make an offer for $1,000 to $3,000? Because selling high ticket is how you're absolutely going to transform your life and actually be able to replace your income a lot quicker. So how do we do this? Well, there's a 3-step formula to creating a high ticket offer that will be the basis and the foundation of what you are going to be selling on your online fitness business. So there's 3 steps. Let's go over step number 1. You need a niche. Who do you help? The next thing you need is what you help them achieve. And the third thing is how you do it. We need to get these 3 things clear so that your offer is unique and you know exactly what you're selling, because an offer that helps everybody actually helps nobody. The more specific you can get on helping somebody and how you do it, the more valuable the transformation will be, and the higher you can price your high ticket coaching. So an example of this would be like, I help women lose fat, gain muscle, and finally feel confident in their body again through home workouts and simple nutrition. So you're talking to who you help women, what you help them achieve, lose fat and gain muscle, and finally feel confident in their body again. And how you do it is through home workouts and simple nutrition. Now, if you're still struggling with this for whatever reason, again, just think of the younger version of yourself. Who are you helping? What do you help them achieve? What transformation do you help them achieve? And how do you uniquely do it? Because we all know there's 1,000 ways to lose weight or gain muscle. You can do keto, you can do paleo, you can do Pilates, you can do this, but we don't all do it the same. So how do you do it? What is your unique method? Now, the next important thing we need to understand is once you know who you are helping and what you are helping them with, you need to understand the difference between selling the task and selling the transformation. So here's what I mean. When I say your offer is a transformation, not a task, most new coaches, and you might have seen it in somebody's Instagram bio before, is I sell 8-week coaching programs. I do one-to-one coaching. I make custom meal plans. But that's not an offer. That's just describing the task. Your ideal client doesn't wake up in the morning thinking, I need a custom meal plan today. They wake up thinking they're tired of feeling stuck in their body and they want to feel confident again. They wake up looking at the mirror and saying like, I don't like feeling like this anymore. They don't think I need an 8-week booty plan, right? So try this. Instead of saying I sell 8-week programs, you would say I help women lose fat, gain muscle, and finally feel confident in their body again through home workouts and simple nutrition. Or if your audience is moms, you would say I help busy moms get fit without sacrificing family time. See how instantly that sounds more valuable? You're not selling workouts anymore. You're selling the result that they want, that point B destination that we were looking at earlier. And that's what allows you to charge $1,000 to $2,000, even $5,000 per package, because people don't pay for workouts, they pay for outcomes. So let's just look at a quick example of this to really make it set in for you. So a task-based offer focuses on what you do. which they don't usually work. A transformation-based offer focuses on what clients become, and this is so much more valuable. So let's take a look at a $50 plan versus a $2,000 transformation. A task offer would be like, I sell 8-week coaching programs. A transformation is, I help women feel confident in their body again. I sell booty plans versus I help busy moms lose weight without giving up family dinners. I help men get fit versus I help men or women finally stay consistent and fall in love with fitness again. Now, the reason why I want to explain this and really set this point home is because your offer is the basis of your online business. Just as you would set up a brick and mortar building, we need to set up the walls, the foundation of it. And so when you can get very specific on this is the foundation of your business and exactly who you're helping somebody with. Now, don't feel the need to be saying this all the time, all over your social media. This is more of just like a mission statement, who you're about, what your mission is. And once you are personally clear on who you're helping, this will then bleed into all of your marketing, your content, all of your, marketing resources and all of that kind of stuff. So this is just important information for you to digest and know in the back of your mind so that when you go out and start marketing and creating and selling, you're going to actually have a very clear path forward because you know exactly who you're helping. So once we have our mindset right, pillar number 1, and pillar number 2, we have our offer all set in stone. That brings us to pillar number 3, and this is a hefty one, so I want you to lean in with me here because this has a lot of value, and if you actually use this system, I know you'll be able to actually start making money online. And I actually also have a supporting worksheet and document that goes with this absolutely for free, and I'll tell you how to get it at the end. So, pillar number 3, systems, the client machine. You don't need a huge audience. You need a repeatable system. I know people with 20,000 followers who aren't making money because they don't have a system. I know people with 1,500 followers who are making 10K a month because they have a system to turn attention into money. And that's all we're doing here, but ultimately transforming other people's lives. So this is broken down into a 3-step system. Step number 1 is content. Let's go down the content path. Now, the problem most people face is they have no real content system or growth strategy when it comes to Instagram. Their reels aren't hitting, their audience isn't growing, and they're posting random workouts that get likes, but they're not really seeing engagement, sales, or anything like that. And maybe you don't even know how to post content, and that's okay too. So the solution to this is having a growth engine. Now, my content strategy is a growth engine that actually serves multiple purposes, not only just to go viral, but actually to attract your ideal client, generate leads, and grow your online fitness coaching business. So what does that look like? I break my content down into 3 main things. First is viral content. Second is educational content. And third is proof and connection. Let's go over quickly what each of these look like. Viral content, this is my client Andrea. She was able to grow to 10,000 followers very quickly. And as you can see, I'm going to point out and highlight here her viral content. 34K views, 11K, and 80K. As you can see, viral content is not the main strategy, but it is a point, and it's scattered throughout her content so that she can actually gain attention, gain eyeballs, and actually have something and somebody to sell to. So it's very important to create viral based content so that you can actually generate eyeballs in the first place. This is my client Joe. Same thing. If we take a look here, not every video is viral, but when you learn the viral X content method, this is exactly what will allow you to have reels going viral here and there, gaining attention to your page and growing. And not every reel needs to go viral, but it is very important to implement. Next, this is Kayla. This screenshot speaks for herself. When she got started with me, I think she was at 13,000 followers, and now she's at 50,000, and she's been able to grow her account. And followers are not everything, okay? They are not, again, I know people with 10,000 followers who don't have, systems to make money. But understand this, you do need attention. People teach different ways of gaining attention, whether that be paid ads or doing other strategies. You've seen it all, but the truth is, you just need one system to rely on to gain attention, and then we just need to figure out how to turn that into money for your coaching business. So how do we do that? Well, that brings me to my next type of content. This is educational type content. This is where you start educating and showing yourself as an authority in the space. This was me when I was doing fitness coaching. I built my six-figure online coaching business, and this is where I started to really just give value to my audience. This had nothing to do with the kind of content that I actually wanted to make, because I enjoyed making motivational content. But as you can see, I'm talking about what I order at restaurants to stay fit. My ideal client was a girl in her 20s who still wanted to go out and party, who still wanted to have a social life, but I needed to speak directly to her that, hey, you can still go out to restaurants and stay fit, but this is how you do it, right? So I had to actually be able to show myself as an authority and give educational content scattered throughout my strategy to actually help turn those eyeballs into paying clients. Which, by the way, secret tip, this is what really blew up my business quickly. Once I had, the viral content mastered and all of that stuff, starting to do some educational content really changed things for me. So proof and connection, this is where you start to build trust. People need to know, like, and trust you in order to buy from you through social media. They have to actually trust what you can offer. And the fastest way to build trust is by showing proof. So this is an example of one of my clients here. And this is just literally, as you can see, a fitness transformation. And I would post those through my Instagram stories. I didn't really love putting on my feed because I value having an aesthetic feed. And a lot of people do say that to me, that's what stands out to them is like, I do my business, but I still do it aesthetically. So like, if you're a girl watching this and that's important to you, just know that like you can still build a business aesthetically while scattering some of this stuff through your Instagram stories and still make a lot of money. I do want to say, I wrote here proof and connection because if you don't have any proof, it might be yourself. So that's where connection comes into play. If you don't have any client transformations, any proof, you can use yourself. You've had your own fitness transformation, so that's where you would put connection-based content. As you can see, this is my client, Jake. He is sort of the same as me. He likes valuing, having aesthetic content, but he'll still post like his transformations here. Now, once you have these 3 types of content and this entire ecosystem playing out for you, the outcome of this is consistent follower growth because you have your viral reels coming through with people who want coaching, and you have a consistent content basis that builds trust and momentum. And that way you'll have a pipeline of warm leads from your content. This is literally just how you warm up people to want to buy from you, and you can build a really powerful and successful online coaching business when you have this growth engine in place. What's the second step to the client machine? This is relationships. This is very big. What's the problem we have here? Well, we have no system to turn followers into paying clients. So as you can see, this yellow line, great, we're getting engagement, we're getting lots of people looking at us. But when we come back up here, we need to be able to turn these people into paying clients. What's the solution here? Instagram stories. If you're an online coach and you aren't hammering home Instagram stories, this is a very big mistake, and I'm going to teach you how to fix it right now. And I'm even going to teach you, if you have never done an Instagram story before, how you can right now, using the information I'm about to share, actually use the story selling sequence that has signed me $1,000 clients in a day, has had my clients signing up $4,000 clients using this exact sequence. So lean in because this is very, very valuable. Instagram stories are always at top of mind when people are on social media. This is a very big part of online business. They're always at the top, they're always being refreshed, and they're always at omniscient, if you will. They're always just there. And so what advantage does this give us? This gives us an opportunity to start creating call to actions. It's also known as a CTA if you don't know what that is. It's a call to action. You're calling your viewers to take an action. And you're probably wondering, Sawyer, what does that mean? Well, a call to action is just an invitation. It's how you turn a viewer into a conversation without being pushy or salesy. You can think of it like this. Your call to action in your story builds connection. It gives them a next step. And it can be as simple as asking them to DM you a keyword, vote on a poll, or tap a link. And the goal isn't to necessarily just sell and say, hey, buy my thing. It's just an open door for a real conversation with people who are already following you. So how does this work? I'm going to show you the exact 8-slide story sequence that has brought in thousands of dollars for myself and for my clients, and you're gonna be able to swipe this right after this video. So essentially all I'm doing here is I'm telling a story. I am bringing the viewer into my world, and I'm going to tell a story using marketing tactics to hit pain points and provide a solution. And the obvious next step is them needing my help. So when you create Instagram story call to actions, all you're doing is highlighting their pain point, saying, hey, I know you have this problem, saying, hey, I've got this solution, and then saying, hey, if you need help, message me this keyword. That is the basis of call to actions. It's very simple, highlighting a pain point, providing a solution, and making your offer as the obvious next step. So what does this tactically look like in an Instagram story sequence? Well, I'm going to read over them here, slide by slide. So this is one of my lowest moments, but I feel called to share it in case it helps someone who's been feeling the same way. I was training hard, eating everything I could, doing all the right things, but nothing ever changed. Which, side note, this is actually Sawyer in like 2019, and this is all very true. I remember thinking maybe my body will just never look like other girls, and I felt so embarrassed, especially in the gym, surrounded by girls who look stronger and curvier than me. But one day I came across a coach who specialized in helping girls build muscle the right way. Seeing her clients' transformations gave me so much hope, and that's when I decided to stop guessing and finally learn how to train and eat properly for growth. The next slides would be here. If you've been feeling like no matter what you do, you can't gain muscle or see progress, please know that that's exactly where I was. And if I can transform my body and confidence, so can you. And then there's my fitness transformation, right? You can obviously see that. And I'm instilling hope into the viewer that like, if I can do it, you can too. I hired a coach, I followed the plan, and I stayed consistent. And even on the days I didn't see results, 6 months later, my glutes finally started to grow, my back got stronger and definitely more defined, and for the first time, I felt proud of my body. You know what's funny? Even as I'm reading this, I feel emotional because I remember how I felt, and this is exactly what's happening in the viewer when they're watching that and reading that. This is very powerful because you're provoking emotions and you're providing a solution, because this is what we say next. If you've been waiting for a sign, this is it. This entire experience is actually what inspired me to create the Build Muscle coaching program, or whatever your coaching program name is. In my program, I teach women how to build a strong and feminine physique. Let me just delete this. So if you're ready to start your transformation, send me a DM with the word grow and I'll send you the details. Only 2 spots left this month. So then this is the call to action, okay? So for everyone following, call to action. When it says DM me the word, why is this so thick? DM me the word grow, and I'll send you the details. That's the call to action, okay? This is very, very important. This is where you get people raising their hand saying, hey, I need help. And this is where you could potentially now be generating leads and turning that attention that we just generated through viral reels and all of that stuff into now a client who's raising their hand, wants your help, and you can now sell into your program. This is worth a lot of money. I would say this is worth your time and effort to go ahead and go and make these on your own now. After this video, I have created a complete Google Doc outlining exactly what we're talking about on this call that you can download for free. And here is the template. So this is the template. So honestly, this is embarrassing to admit. A few years ago, I used to hate how I looked. That's what this one is. And then I just go on slide by slide, just providing you what you should say on each story. So if you want this free value, go ahead and download it below. You can see exactly the same stories are right there. This is very powerful, okay? This in itself can be one of the most significant things that you learn to do in your online business, because it really is the starting point of turning attention into a paid client, and that's relationships. It's just generating conversations via call to action to talk to these people. And that brings me to this next point. You know, you could have 5 to 10 people saying, hey, yeah, I want that. And you don't even know it yet because you've never offered something like this before. Or if you did, you were offering a task-based transformation saying, hey, I sell 8-week workout plans, and nobody wanted it because you didn't provide any of this emotional provoking to actually have them want it. Step number 3, how do we get money into our account at the end of the day? This is where the sales process comes into. So what does this look like from a high level? Well, the first thing we need is to have a simple DM conversation. Once you have those call to actions on your stories, people are going to be naturally messaging you, and you're going to be having a simple conversation with them. A good way to look at this is simply asking what they're struggling with, what's standing in their way, and where they want to be. And if they seem like a good fit for your program, what you can actually help them with and how you can help them transform their life and body, then that would take us to the next step. But some notes for this is just, you have to remember you already have permission to talk to them. Don't be afraid in the DMs to ask these questions, to be confident and be a leader as you're messaging these people who are messaging you back. They already replied to your story. So they are already giving you permission to ask you all the questions. So don't be timid. Don't be worried about what you should ask or what you shouldn't ask. Be confident, be a leader. Ask what their goals are, ask what their pain points are, what they're struggling with. And if it seems like you can help them, that would bring you to your next step, which is get on a call. And this is simply saying like, hey, yeah, I can definitely help you based on what we've talked about. If you are open to it, we can jump on a call. And from there, if it's a good fit for the program, we can kind of go over what it looks like to work with me. And this is where you would send out a Calendly link. And this is just a link that you can literally send in the Instagram DMs for them to book a time that will work well for both of you, regardless of the time zone as well. So you get on the call and you talk to them about their program and you tell them about how much it's going to be, which when I first made my first sale, I said, yep. So I was so scared, by the way. I said, so it's $650 for 3 months. And the girl said yes. She literally said yes. I was shocked because at the time I was just living in my parents' basement and I was working my 9 to 5, but I just followed this process. And she said yes, and I was like, oh, okay, great. Do you have e-transfer? Luckily, she had e-transfer. That's what we use in Canada, and she sent me the money. But that brings me to my third point, and that's how to make them a client. So the first thing you're going to want to do is set up a Stripe account. This is where you can actually take professional payment that is very secure both on their end and your end. They can use a credit card, they can use Link, they can use different things to actually secure the payment there, and it allows you to look a lot more professional when you are running a online business. And it's free to set up. The next thing you'd want to send them is an onboarding email just saying, hey, I'm so excited to have you, welcome. And then pretty much just give them an intake form asking them questions that you need to know as a coach to program them properly and help them with their nutrition, their fitness, their workouts, and all of that information and all of that stuff. So this is pretty much the entirety of the process. You know, it's really simple. It is really simple. It's very, very simple once you get to know it. It doesn't mean that it's easy, okay? So if you've made it to the end of this video and you're probably thinking, okay, Sawyer, but how do I actually put all of this together? Well, this is your little reminder that it would be silly for me not to give you my own call to action right now, especially because I just taught you how important they are. So if you're still here and you need extra help building your business, kind of putting all of this together, and you're serious about making it work, you can either book a call with me below, or you can DM me the word FitBiz on Instagram. I'm truthfully looking for serious men and women who are rooted in Christ, who want to have freedom, they're hungry for freedom, and they're ready to build a real business that changes their life. So this isn't a course, this isn't a team that you get handed off to. When you work with me, it's one-to-one, it's personal. My goal is to truly help you transform your life, hit your first 5 to 10K months online, and quit that job that's been draining your purpose. And I'll be honest, it isn't cheap to work with me, but if you're ready to invest into yourself, into your future, show up and build something real, then this might be exactly what you've been praying for. You can book a call with me using the link below, or just DM me FitBiz on Instagram and I'll send you the details. And I can't wait to see who's ready to take action to transform their lives. So that's it from me in this video. I hope you found a lot of value. Check out the links below, including the free PDF, and I will see you in the next video.